Okay, here's a quick video showing how to assemble the Yeti stand. You have a base plate, a threaded rod. You're going to have two welded washer rings, one with a nut and one without, a spacer, one more 1/2-inch nut. You have a small washer with a nut welded to it. This is for 20-ounce cups, and then the large washer with a nut welded to it. And I'm also throwing in this piece of non-stick material. Now I'm going to assemble it. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to take the base plate and you're going to screw this in, and you want to just do about 4 or 5 screws, and then you're going to tighten this down. You don't want this to bottom out, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so now if it bottoms out, it's going to make this have an angle on it. It's as perpendicular as possible if you leave it with just a little bit of a gap at the bottom, and then you tighten down this nut, and you can do that with a wrench if you feel like it. For the video, I'm not doing that. The next part to go on is going to be your washers with the nut welded to it. And once you get it started, you want to make sure you leave plenty of threaded space here at the bottom. And that may be too much, but for some cups it's going to be more than enough or plenty, and then for other cups you're going to need to bring it back up some. You'll figure it out eventually. Then the spacer goes on. Okay, that's going to be your space between that, and this is what the actual cup's going to sit on. What the cup's actually going to sit on while it's powder coated. Then this goes on to protect. Basically, it's an insulator between the washer and the cup, and secondly, it allows it to keep the washer clean so that you continue to have the ability to put stuff on here without this washer basically powder coating to the cup at some point. The next thing you do is put on this nut. And then whichever, and I don't allow this to go past that. I just stop it in that area. That's all you got to do for putting it together. Okay, now the last step is I put on some foil, and I basically just kind of cup it over like that. But I want this foil to be sticking out on all sides, because when I slide this on, I want it to be firmly on there. And I'll adjust this up until it fits flush. And that's pretty good. Now when powder coat, and at that point you want this to fall away. So I'm going to spin this down, and I'm going to hold it in place so that I don't knock any powder off the cup. Once it's in place, I drop this down. And now there's a gap there if you want to vacuum this off, and you can even lower it further if you want. Personally, the more distance between it and the cup, the happier I am, especially if I'm going to vacuum it off. You can vacuum it off at that point, and that'll keep the cup from touching. And now you should be able to lift this up from here. I lift it up from the bottom washer at that point, which is, again, it's got the nut on it, so it's holding in place. And I can move this around and put it in the oven without anything moving. So hopefully that'll give you some understanding of what to do with the parts once you receive them. And good luck, and enjoy powder coating with your new stand.